Who's a good boy? Welcome to Three Grandmas Yapping About Underground Film. Three Grandmas Yapping About Super Watch Party. This is the premiere episode of the Three Grandmas companion to Super Watch Party, which is on every, Monday nights? Every Monday at 6 Pacific.
Yep.
And we're going to have a new film, a creepy little underground thingy or funny guy from all over the world on Mondays on Super Watch Party on Twitch. And then we do the review here for that. But we also still have our regular show Saturdays at 8 Pacific. And we're going to have Daniel William Clark this week.
Yes.
And what is the film that Daniel William Clark is having me review?
We are watching I believe it's the WCW produced Ready to Rumble.
Am I going to like this movie?
I probably not, but I'm going to love it because I've seen it
but
before.
okay, but like, what if I don't like the movie? I have to tell beautiful, sweet, innocent Daniel William
You
Clark.
have to look him in his eyes and tell him, listen, I disapprove of your lifestyle.
No, we're going to have to find a way to
I can't do that.
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to watch the movie, and then I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, watch, give it a fucking chance.
Yeah,
don't
you
go
give
in
it a
there
chance.
with your attitude, your fucking pompous bullshit.
That's you. I'm
talking to myself.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying, listen, you asshole. You haven't made a movie. It's better than the fucking movie you haven't made, right? The worst movie is better than the movie you haven't made.
I think it used to come on TNT or TBS like all the time, and I just watched it all the time.
I don't think it was marketed to me because I really have never been a wrestlehead, and I don't know. All right, so we're fascinated about that, and so we're going to do that on Saturday. But today we are going to talk about an excellent Norwegian film. Well, you know, I think it was excellent. I had a lot of fun watching it in Super Watch Party yesterday.
Yeah.
Good boy, and our archivist and our Super Watch Party film curator, FoxMulder 81 is here. How you doing, FoxMulder?
I'm all good, boys. Good to see you.
Okay. And so, how did you pick this movie? Like, I want to hear something about your process, and like, other than no booba, what are some of the things we're looking for a Super Watch Party?
Okay. When I find certain movies, I tend to go through users lists on IMDb. So it's usually I'll find a weird movie and I look at people with connected lists that they've compiled. So it helps me find some very interesting movies. And this one just instantly stuck out. I like the weird, I like the stupid, I like the ridiculous. The kind of movies where to some degree you have to suspend disbelief. And this was just like, okay, this is going to be interesting for a group watch.
Did you know about this director before? Because did he direct, like he made a film called Above the Knee? Is that the film about the was that before or after this movie? Were you aware of this guy? Because he's kind of like he's well known for making these very visceral, challenging films.
He seems to be a new writer / director. He's only made 3 or 4 movies. One of them might have been a short movie.
Yeah.
He tends to go for the strange, and it seems to be a thing that Scandinavian movies have really jumped into.
Is it Scandinavian movies or the movies that American audiences finally get to see because they're just so crazy that they get an audience from that?
With someone I have been occasionally watching movies with, they live in Finland, but they are American. He's introduced a few Scandinavian movies to me, and they seem to be in the same realm of just these weird, uncomfortable, strange, just creepy, weird, uncomfortable movies. And I've got a whole bunch to show you guys in the future.
Good.
I'm not going to name them because we like to keep it a little bit secret. The whole process of me trying to find movies is just simple user discovery, because sometimes you find, instead of me going by the lists on what they push, because usually there's a little bit of funding behind it, and there's a little bit of, they seem to, how do I say it? They seem to hype up a lot of movies that don't really deserve the hype, but I tend to trust users that have a good list of solid movies that I've seen, and so it helps a lot to really hunt down lower end movies and less well known movies, and
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
where
we
you find some
depend
really
on like
interesting stuff.
if you know somebody who's reviewing a lot of films and like you see a lot of corollaries between your tastes, then we really depend on those people. At least I do for like music stuff and movies, and like that's really like the web that you have to build in order to like discover stuff. Did you know anything about this crazy Norwegian time? Did you ever hear about this movie or anything before?
I feel like I had seen like maybe a snippet of like the trailer or like the poster, but
I saw the Christmas special on the Hallmark Channel, but this was a big surprise.
This one, yeah. No, I didn't know anything about this.
All right, let's talk about it though. What is this movie? Like, you guys want to discuss the plot a little bit? So it starts out, it's just a very isolated, wealthy guy, and like, okay, he's got a dog man who lives with him. Like, so what is it? It's a guy in a suit.
And
he like totally acts like a dog. And so the premise of the film initially is like this is his choice, and he's being very kind and allowing it, right? And so then it starts to pick up when he starts dating, right? And then a young ingenue shows up, and like he's just the sweetest man ever, right? And he's wealthy, and like she's like a little recalcitrant at first, but then her friends push her towards it because he's nice and he's wealthy and he's handsome, and so she overlooks.
No,
go ahead. All right, please stop me at any time. Like
pull it back a little bit. We'll go stage by stage.
Okay, go. You guys tell me.
The one of the things that you glossed over, which I thought was hilarious, and it kind of shows like the different people they are, is he shows up to the date in a full suit.
Yeah,
and then she shows up in like workout.
In fucking sweatpants, bro.
Yeah. Like and like just finished the jog and then meeting at a cafe when looks like a high end restaurant.
And so like I knew the high-end restaurant. And like so like he wouldn't normally fuck with a girl like that. And so you know that there's something creepy really underscoring what his real intentions are. I felt like, because I feel like a wealthy posh guy like that, if you show up in sweatpants, it's a wrap and he'll just swipe.
He's gonna leave,
but maybe he thought, well, maybe this one's attainable. To do this thing that ends up.
Yeah, it helps that she's attractive. She seems somewhat bubbly. She's really outgoing. She's very carefree.
Yeah,
very open and very.
There were a few moments where it was like kind of awkward, but I just chalked it up to just like regularly, getting to know someone. But for the most part, they had a lot of back and forth, and they're making each other laugh and stuff like that. So it seemed like a fairly normal.
She was open to the experience, and so like whatever, it was fine because like whatever he dealt, she was like happy to receive, I guess.
And apparently this guy was super rich and well known, and she had no idea who he was.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what
it seems to be, his parents were well known. I'm not so much about him. He seems to be.
That was?
He wasn't like a case of a nepo baby type deal. He didn't seem to be running a business. He even said during the date that he's not really doing anything at the moment, so he's living off what seems to be inheritance.
It's just inheritance type shit.
One thing that I noticed was that I can't remember. Well, his parents have passed away.
Right.
It wasn't really
allegedly. Maybe they're dressed as parrots in the barn.
I don't remember them stating how they passed away, which kind of raises a few questions in me whether he had a part in it. But it's an interesting idea that maybe he could have had a part in it.
He had that statue of his dad's, like the mold of his dad's head in his house.
Oh yeah, that giant bronze.
Him and his dad,
and it's
marble.
Didn't he say his mother carved it or did something? Like that, she made it.
Yeah,
something.
It was him and his dad. Yeah.
About the date, there's the first red flag, kind of, but it seems kind of innocent. It seems kind of appropriate for the date. She starts playing with her phone, and she's just sitting back and just like, whatever. And he's like, can you not do that?
Yeah.
Please. Which is understandable, as I say, within the date. But like, that in the later stages of the film, it's kind of like the first step of him realizing he can tell her kind of what to do, and she's
exploit the power imbalance.
But then at the same time, after he says that, he's fiddling with his phone, and he's playing with it too. And she kind of calls him out, and he's like, "Oh, it's just I'm kind of I'm nervous around people." That's his reaction. He's like, I'm not really
it's all about
people person.
See, like if somebody's trying to like assert control over somebody like that in a way that's like horrible and terrible in the end, it's coming in stages, right? So we're testing boundaries every time, right?
Yeah.
If I tell you to stop doing something, what is your reaction? And so he says it the sweetest possible way just to get that response. And so by the time he takes her cell phone away, right, when they finally go on vacation, then I don't want to skip ahead, but I'm saying like it took a long, you don't just go from that to there, right? It's those steps, right?
It's very relatable as well, because as I said, like many people would have the same reaction if you went on a date and someone starts playing with their phone. Instantly, you think, "Oh, why are you here? Like, you're supposed to. It's our date. You don't go on a date to talk to other people on the phone. It's very
but these are also 20-somethings, right? So it's like it's almost like a fidget spinner that they have, and like they sit down and they automatically like, check the fucking thing, just like they don't even know they're doing it because they've been so conditioned by how cell phones work, right? Like, because it's basically a slot machine in your pocket, and like the rewards are not money; it's likes and fucking follows.
Yeah, for the younger people, the phone is an extension of themselves. It's it's kind of.
I would never be like that.
But
it's everybody though. Like we're all on our phones, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the big reasons I want to stop you is you said that her friend like pushed her to continue with the guy because he was
Let's talk
cute.
about that scene.
No, so everything that happens after this point is her friend's fault because her friend was like, "He's rich, just give him another chance."
And then how does she like get her attention? She slaps her.
Oh, she slaps. That's right. She slaps shit out.
She slaps her in the face hard, and she's cool with it. And then now I know why this one is going to be a good candidate for the bad guy, right? Because like if you're willing to take a fucking slap from your friend over this,
but let's just pull back a little bit. He invites her to his home.
Oh, she goes. That's right.
Yeah, and she goes to the home, and as they are talking, he says, like, she asks him the question, "Do you live with anyone else?" And he's like, "No." It's like, "So there's no one else here?" And he's like, "No." But then as they're talking, you see through the crack of the door, Frank who's the dog, just like peering through the door, and it's like, oh. And then Frank comes in, and he's like, "You want to meet my dog?" She's like, yeah, I want to meet your dog. And this guy in a dog suit just comes in, and you just see like, yo.
It's a horror review. And it's after they sleep together for the first time, too. It's not even before. So, like, she's in there. It's like too late.
And he's just, again, he's staring through the crack in the door while they're kind of like going at it. It's like, oh my God.
Well, one of the scenes, too, that was crazy, that involves Frank at the beginning. They show the main guy, and he's getting his food ready and this and that, whatever. And then he goes and he puts the bowl down for the dog, and it's Frank. And you see, like, it's obviously a dude in a dog costume, and he's eating this and that, whatever. And then he's petting him and he's playing with him. And then it smash cuts to like him like taking a shower, but the costume is just on the ground. So he clearly took it off, and he's just taking a shower. And it's just like, what the fuck? I was like, what are we gonna watch? What is gonna happen?
Yeah, so it seems like 23 and a half hours through the day he's in that dog suit. He sleeps.
You gotta wash that suit though. That's what I was troubled by mostly. Like you're gonna wash, but the suit is gonna stink. I hope he has fresh suits, maybe multiple suits.
Oh yeah, at one point I was expecting to open like some wardrobe or something, and it's just a line of dog suit.
Would they be the same dog, like the looking dog, or would they be different looking dogs?
I mean, it has to be the same, right? Because like he doesn't want the dog to break character. Like his big thing is like, don't treat Frank like a, you got to treat him like a dog.
Yes, he really insisted to.
Or what if it was the same look, but different lengths of fur? So he just lets his
like
fur
for the
grow
seasons?
out. Yeah, the seasons. Yeah, and then he's like, I gotta shave myself and then go back down to
the shaggy coat for wintertime.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. It really starts getting uncomfortable, and that should have been an instant red
Oh
flag.
yeah.
But then she works
But
through it, right?
yeah, but then moving on to when she goes to see her friend, you can tell Sigrid, who's the main female
Yeah.
in the movie, she's like, how did the date go? Oh, it was good. And she's like, you're going to see him again? She's like, no, I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so.
She's like, yeah. And she's like, show me a picture of him. And then she shows a picture, and her friend's like, no way, that's bullshit. And she's like, what do you mean? Well, he's the son of a multimillionaire. And she's like, what? She's no bullshit. You didn't go on a date. And she's like, yeah, I did.
And then it's like, what did the five fingers say to the hand?
Get out of her.
Like, what? That was a shocking moment for me. Like, because you don't expect that. It's just like two girlfriends, like talking, and like somebody just like hauls off on you like that.
Christian.
Interesting choice. Is that like a Norwegian vibe? Like, is that what happens over there? Like, it was weird, bro. And I guess that's what the director wanted, and it was cool to put that little piece of weirdness in there to keep you unsettled, and then you know she's going back.
Yeah,
to the house.
Her friend instantly points out that the fact that he's extremely handsome, he's extremely rich, and despite all the red flags that you could have taken from that first date and that first time where he takes her to the house, and Frank,
she doesn't tell her girlfriend about the dog boy though, does she?
Yeah, not at first. I don't believe. I can't.
I don't think she ever does.
So. But it's like
no, I think she does.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does. You're right.
That he's handsome. He's rich. What's there to miss? And it's like, okay, then you've got a kind of a good point, which is very
because you got to trust your gut. And like, if there's a dog boy there, maybe that dog boy doesn't necessarily want to be there, right?
Yeah.
And she never considers that option. That maybe this is not what it seems to be, and that maybe this is not something that Frank wants to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because she actually starts playing videos of pet play and showing the videos, and then like convincing her that this is just a normal thing, and she actually asks like, is it a fetish thing? And she's like, it doesn't seem to be. It seems to be like a friendly thing.
Yeah,
because like he sleeps with her and like not with. Frank's not there, and he doesn't invite Frank to play with them while they're doing
right.
Doing
she asked him at one point, "Does Frank have sex?" Right, or something like that. And then what happens with that? Like it just like never goes anywhere.
He says straight up like, "No, that's really not a thing."
He's like,
so they have a honeymoon, and then eventually he asks her to go to the country. Right, we want a little vacay. And that's when that's when the shit really gets crazy.
We don't actually know how much time has passed, but it seems to be
pretty quick
to us, like the fourth date. So it seems to be moving extremely quickly. And she's very receptive of it, and he's not really that pushy. So it seems to be, they're both agreeing to this on the same kind of level.
And at the same time, too, it's like she's presumably. She gives him a second chance because, she likes him, and the dog thing is weird, but also he's a multimillionaire.
Get the bag.
But then that money really doesn't kind of show itself, like in any form as they're dating. Like he's not buying her lavish things.
I mean, that's Scandinavia, bro. That's very like sedated back, like, but there's like a lot of fucking money behind that stuff. Yeah. Like it's all the antique furniture and that's just they're very subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that she comes back so willingly in his head, he's already got her ankle in the trap, and he's like, "This is going to be easy. This is going to be so easy." Like,
but do you think like when does he realize there's like? I feel like there's the situation in the house when they're at the farmhouse, and like there's the big reveal, right? So like we watched this movie yesterday, so we are going to do the spoiler stuff. And I'm sorry, the VOD was not uploaded because I did not remember that you have to check that we want VODs when you have a new account. So I fucked that up. It should be like automatically uploading VODs, but you have to actually check the boxes. So next week we'll have it, but you guys can watch it. But there's a point when they're in the country and then the dog. They have a moment like where the bad guy's away, and he turns to her and he's like, he's crazy. Get me the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like you see the look on her face and the whole fucking.
Yeah.
It's almost like a spinning effect.
Yeah,
like,
she's sitting there.
it's like Alfred Hitchcock shit.
It's
like
weird.
it changes the mood immediately because
Yeah.
everything's cool and chill, and like now she's like, "What the fuck am I gonna do about this?"
The weird part about it too is I mean, just like in this picture right here, you see his eyes. So you'll see his eyes a lot of times, and you see the human part of him. But obviously,
Right.
the mask is a whole thing. But when she takes him for a walk, and then she's just like whatever, and then he turns and he's like, "This guy's fucking crazy." The mouth part opens up a little bit more, and you can see his face in the mouth part, and it's like, oh my god, he's like legit freaking out. Like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
so
Yeah.
he's just talking to the mask,
essentially
like he's like trying to get out.
that's how he's keeping him prisoner, and he keeps him in a fucking cage. And what is it? What is that belt harness that he had? Like, not only is he in a fucking cage, he's like tied up
No,
with
no,
his
no.
neck
Like
or
a ball
something.
gag.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
gag.
it's a ball gag. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. It's so terrifying.
Yeah, but then it comes to a point where like she's like, I'm gonna take Frank for a walk because she's realised like I need to help this dude as well as help myself because she's at one point she tries to get out the house very early in the morning and it's locked and she
Yeah.
starts
From the
looking for
inside.
keys, like,
That's the first rule of horror
And-
movies.
And she was on her phone again while they're at this new house, and he's like, "Hey,
yeah.
what if we just enjoy nature and enjoy each other? Put your phone in this box, and you're never
Marble
gonna see it again."
Tomb.
Yeah. He does the thing where he's like, "Look, I'm putting my phone here,"
And then she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
You
what
should
if we
put
don't
yours
put
in."
the phone in there?" And like he's
Yeah.
like, "No, we're gonna do that." And they're like pretending to be cool about it and stuff,
Yeah.
right? They're trying to
Yeah.
over nice it.
He takes it out of the room, and we don't know where the hell he puts it. Whether
Right,
he puts it
yeah.
in a safe or like some hidden, we don't know.
Right.
So it's not like I'm just going to put it on this shelf. It's always here if you
Right? Yeah, we
need
can
it.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, none of that. But that's like another major one where she's like, "Oh shit!" And then on top of that, she can't leave the house.
Yeah.
But then she takes Frank for a walk because she realizes we need some alone time. Like,
We need to
what
talk,
the fuck is going to go here? But she starts talking to him, and he's like, "Shut the fuck up! We need to whisper because he could be listening." That's the level of paranoia in Frank, and understandably. So you don't know whether he's got little microphones around in the woods or some cameras.
Yeah,
But
wealth, right?
Well, they come back.
She talks to him, but she has to like get near him and like pet him, and she's like, "You got to figure out what to do, like kill him or something." And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah,
And
he's
like, if he-
he's like, how? She's like, how do we get out of this? And he's like, we need to kill him. This guy's a fucking maniac. Like, it's not going to be easy.
And then
Yeah.
she hides a knife, right? And like, and then it's like he knows something's up. Like the bad guy is like obviously knows that something's weird because she's acting so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he said like, did Frank go to the toilet? And she's like, no. He's like, oh, I'm going to take Frank to
Oh,
the toilet. But then she goes to hide the knife, and then next thing you know, Christopher, who's the main bad guy, he comes back and like catches her almost in the act, and he's like, "Oh, I've come to change the sheets."
Yeah.
And he's got a little smile too the whole time, like like, and then he gets mad about the fitted sheets, and like he's not really mad about any of that shit, right?
That
He's
whole
toying with her.
section was so tense. Yeah,
it was.
She gets out of the shower and she sees him, and he's just like, he has his back to her, and he's staring outside the window, and he's like, "Do you need to talk about this? You know what you've done." And then it's like, what the fuck? Like, he found
right.
it, and then he's like,
cooking
"You didn't
her.
put the sheets on right. It's too
Right.
loose." And she's like, "What the fuck?" And he goes, "I'm just kidding."
Yeah.
And then he like gropes her super hard, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave."
And then he's like,
and she slaps him. That's the second slap.
right, and then they're at
Yeah,
dinner.
because it starts moving on her when she's
Yeah.
clearly uncomfortable and like, I need to get out of this shit, but she doesn't want to tell him.
Yeah.
So they have dinner, and like they're trying to like she's trying to like make it better and stuff, or trying to like not let him know that she's like onto him. And then so at some point Frank is like, okay, I have to make my fucking move, right? Like so he lures Christian right to the fucking cage setup or some point.
Oh, also at one point there's a shot, and it kind of seems like a throwaway shot, but it's not, because I pretty much figured it out right away. She gets sick and she starts throwing up.
Yeah,
they show
because
that.
it's all come to
Oh, yeah.
everything,
The fear
the
and the shock.
realization
Yeah.
and everything.
Terror.
But then when I mentioned earlier about being in the woods and he might be listening, he pulls out a phone and he's like, I know what you've been doing. Well, it turns out that he's got a hidden microphone somewhere in the dog suit that neither of them knew about. And he's got the whole conversation. He's like, you're fucked. You're fucked. And then it just goes, yeah. He really starts showing his colors then.
Up, yeah.
And so then Frank makes his move, and this is the part where people might have a problem with some of the parts of this movie. Because I feel like if I'm Frank, I'm going hard in the fucking paint. Like, if I have one shot, and like, I know he's been abused probably for, I don't know, maybe years in that suit. And maybe, so maybe he's weakened, right? Because he's like confined, so he can't really fight. And also he's like mentally broken, right? So some people might say, like, why didn't they just like fucking go 1,000%, right? Because like he fights, but not really that hard, right? Well, he bites him.
There's
and he's stronger, but still.
Where they, you know, from when Frank bites Christian to the very end, every little thing that Frank does is in the role of the dog, except for when he talks, and that's when Christian freaks the fuck out. But like when he talks. So okay, so he bites Christian, and that allows Sigrid to leave, and then Christian reprimands Frank and's like, "I'm taking you to the fucking." Oh no, he just reprimands.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And then he starts talking, and he's like, "What did you just say?" And he's like, "Are you talking?" And then he takes him to the shed.
Torture time.
As he's taking him to the shed, though, he's pulling him on the leash, and he's still like resisting, but he's resisting as a dog, and it was super uncomfortable to watch that. Because it's just like, dude, get up. Like, you pull back at him, and he's just like,
it's go time. Like, listen, you're going to get tortured either way, so you might as well fucking make your final stand. And, like, and at that point, are you going to be a dog boy forever? Because, like, it might be better if he killed you. Like, if you fail, like, you're just going to be tortured for maybe another decade like that. On your knees? Like, you can't walk on your fucking knees like that. It's painful.
At that point, when Frank fights back, and she just fucking runs. She picks up the keys and just fucking gets out the fucking house. And then he realizes that he's lost control, and he starts breaking down, and he starts crying. This
doesn't chase her.
This must be the first time in many years, if not all of his life, if he's got this level of narcissism and whatever it is, that is like he's lost control and he breaks down. Yeah, that's how how control.
And he's not worried about getting caught anymore because she could like escape and actually bring people back to him. Maybe he's so powerful that he doesn't even worry about shit like that, right? Because maybe he has legal shit.
With his mindset of just like losing control and like freaking out, Frank talking brings him right back in.
Yeah,
it just fucking triggers him.
This is my point to take control again.
Yeah,
and then so she comes back, right? Like, does she like fall down on the ground?
Falls down and like
that was bad. I don't appreciate the direction on that. Like, that makes no sense. Like, you would keep running if something like that. You're running from that. You're gonna keep running until you fucking can't.
Yeah,
to a certain degree. I think it's the fact that she's so carefree. She's never been in a situation like this before. It seems like she has never been a victim to any degree. So I think it just overwhelms her. She screams out in the woods. No one calls back, and she just collapses. Like,
emotional breakdown.
I don't know what to do. I'm helpless. And while this is going on, that's when he takes Frank to the shed.
You're right.
And
that shed scene, it's like, I don't want to say nothing happens because stuff does happen, but it's just so crazy.
The music, right? Because they basically do the CIA torture techniques, right? They have the asphyxiation, they have the loud music.
I even said, did he work at Guantanamo at some point? Because he does.
I mean, listen, Abu Ghraib happened. It was a real fucking thing, and there are real black sites in the world, and they do these things just like this. One of the things they do is confinement, which is they put you in a box where, like, this much in front of you, this much on your side, and they just slide you under the bed and keep you there all the time in a fucking.
You can't stretch out. You're completely just stuck in a position. It's
24/7. Like, they take you out for a little bit, but it's like, it's terrible. It's the worst thing you could do to a human. He
sits him in a chair, he ball gags him, he blindfolds him, and then he puts like these noise canceling headphones on him. Yeah. And then he hits him immediately and knocks all that stuff off. and then he puts the noise canceling headphones on. Christian puts them on himself, and then he cranks the music up as loud as he can and starts screaming at Frank.
Hardcore metal.
Yeah. And he doesn't hit him. He just runs around and
ear stuff
starts screaming at him.
The reason they take away all your senses because you don't know when it's going to come at you next, right? Because they take your hearing, your sight, and all that away, and like you throw in the water, and then they take the fucking plastic and they asphyxiate
you.
Yeah,
I forgot about
take it off and on. They can do that for days because it's so painful.
I think he did that at first to Frank the dog because that's at the point where he's just like screaming and just letting it all out, and I suppose he doesn't want Frank to see another level of weakness and how much it's really affected him, so it allows him to just let it all out for a second, and he's just like, I'm gonna fucking take it out on Frank, and it's rough. Like he throws the water,
and so she comes back.
And
she comes back
with a log.
To Christian,
with a weirdest weapon she could find.
He's doing that thing where he puts a plastic bag over Frank's head and, like, just at the point where he's about to pass out, lets it go so he can basically prolong the torture.
Yeah.
But, Sigrid
and then Frank looks
with a huge log.
See, Frank looks and sees her, and that gives him just enough, like, I guess, to brace himself. And so she gets one good smack on his head, right? And so where she fucks up is like, you got to follow that with 2 or 3 finishers. Like, he's down. Like, you got to crush the skull in, bro. We're going to be dead now. There's no knocked out.
He's done some torture to him. And while she comes back, he pulls up a seat, sits down, gets Frank, throws him over his lap.
Yeah, he starts
spanking him.
He's spanking
doing
him.
The spanking. Yeah. Oh, it's so humiliating.
If anyone who's listened to, has seen The Class of 1999, there's a moment in that where the history teacher who finds a guy who's been taking drugs and he's talking back, and he just gets a kid in front of the whole class, and he's just like straight face spanking him. It must have been a complete they must have seen Class of 99 because it was
it's a classic trope. Getting a spanking is just a fucking classic humiliation.
Oh my god, that was so funny, like in the worst way.
Yeah.
She clocks him.
And she cracks him, and and then this is the other problem. Like, okay, I'm taking Frank with me. Well, Frank's broken. Like, Frank should have already been running as soon as he saw that guy get smacked. And I'll catch up with you, right? And so she dragged him out of the thing, and like, it's the old horror movie tropes that get me. It's the Jason, like, oh, obviously he's gonna come back, and obviously they're gonna move slow, and it's. So, like, I wish they resolved that in a more interesting way, because the rest of the movie is so interesting. Like, I would have loved to have been surprised about how it resolved itself, because I feel like it was kind of rote at that point until the very end, where the other twist comes in, and it's the bad guys win sometimes.
Yeah, but she's like, I like the way that she isn't like overly strong. Clearly Frank has been through some shit, so he's almost a dead weight. Yeah. And she's not the biggest woman, and like she's trying to carry him, she's struggling.
You can't carry it if you're 100 pounds like she is, you cannot carry another 140 pound person. Like you just can't.
Yeah, Chris is trying to recover, and he's taking a shot to the head, he's spitting up blood, and he's like falling over himself, so that gives them more chance to try and get away. But and
then how does Christian recapture them?
He clocks them both again.
I forgot.
Oh, that's right.
He hits them from behind while she's trying to drag them out, and then it switches.
That's right.
And then we don't know how much time has passed. And
I'm going to say this: at least 9 months.
And now Christian has 2 dogs.
At least a year. He has 3 dogs.
Who's the third one?
2.5. Let's do 2.5 dogs.
Wait, remind me who the other one was. It's the girl?
His son,
kid. My God. The final reveal. There's a puppy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We'll get there first.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's doing the food thing again, like right at the beginning of the movie. He takes some food to Frank, who's in the house. He takes some food to the shed where we see Sigrid now in a dog suit, chained on mattress.
And completely in that role.
Broken.
Yeah, she's like,
broken.
Not like,
Yeah,
oh my
she's
god, get away from me. And he's like, you better
because
eat
he's
this.
been torturing her for
Yeah.
9 months, like until like you do what you're told, like until they break you. It's so fucking scary.
She's yipping. She eats the food.
She's
like
a better dog than
he's
Frank,
like,
frankly.
if you continue to be good, you can sleep inside. And she's like, yeah.
yeah.
And you know what I said?
100% compliance.
I said,
Like,
switch it up. Have a cat. Have a parrot. It would be
parrot,
fun if she was the parrot, right?
Yeah. and then the final scene.
yeah,
final
he's
scene.
preparing a small bowl.
But it's different food.
No, it's real food, right? It's like a
Yes,
combo.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
hybrid roll.
Because he's obviously gone like, you know what, fuck you guys, I'm going to feed you actual dog biscuits. And he actually focuses on the fact that he's got a big bag of dog biscuits.
Oh yeah, because
like,
it's on the table. Yeah.
And then
so he's like,
the
"Fuck you,
kid
you're
is
not eating real
old.
food."
Like that kid is a couple years. Like how old is
toddler.
that kid?
It's
A year or
7,
two.
6. So it's been
No,
several
not
years.
6,
no,
no.
it's no older than a year old. It's
Yeah.
very,
Ooh, okay.
crawling. Well, that's the thing. He lays the bowl down, and you just see in the living room from the shot from just outside the door, and you just hear these slapping noises, and then you just see a tiny child crawling in a small kind of dog. You can still see the kid's face, but it's like you
Very
see the kid dressed as a dog and eating out of the bowl.
And I think he smiles, and then that's it.
Yeah, and it just cuts to black. And it's like, oh my god. Oh,
Okay, it's time for a final.
That's why that scene wasn't random when she was thrown up. She was morning sickness. She was pregnant.
Oh God!
you think so?
100%.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense now that you say it.
Yeah.
I think it was just a realization of everything coming in. She's just like sick that she's got herself into this
Combo.
situation.
You know what, Fox?
Combo.
Let's say it's both.
Combo plate.
Let's both.
All right,
do it.
boys. It's time for our final summary. So we're gonna go around. We're gonna give our final review and our score. And like I use a 100-point scale. You guys can do whatever you want.
We do $5
like-
biscuits.
$5. And like so, Fox, if you'd like, why don't you give me your final, and then we say whether we recommend it.
One thing I did like about it was it was rather short, just over an hour, so there wasn't too much filler. But then again, at the same time, I would have liked to have seen a bit more exploration into maybe his parents, his background, her background, maybe some flashbacks of Frank, because he tells the story of like, oh, we were friends as a kid, and all my friends used me for my toys, and he stuck around, and he was also bullied a lot. That's his story.
Well, that's
Whether
the
it's
dark.
True,
That's
whether
dark.
it's true or not, we don't know. But anyway, I like the shortness of it because it didn't need too much. I like movies that leave a lot of speculation. Say like Pulp Fiction, still what was in that briefcase. You know what I mean? When he opens it, it's the gold. Those kind of questions allow us to have these conversations years later. The main people in the movie, I believe, haven't really acted that much, but I think they did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple role, but when Sigrid hits that point of realization, you see her acting starting to shine. She's like, yeah, she can pull off emotion.
Yeah.
He can ramp it up. Like, and Frank, when he starts getting beaten, especially when he starts getting dragged, you feel
You
like,
feel it. You
just
feel
like,
the
oh,
terror
God.
and the fucking
Those
desperation.
The faces she makes when she's like nervous or like uncomfortable were like really good. Like she really sold it.
Her face reddens,
Yeah.
she starts sweating. It's like,
The redding of the face was very good, right? Because like you can't fake it. Like you have to really feel that.
yeah, there's some pretty decent standard shots. The lighting's solid. There's not too like, oh, this overly dark. It's a well lit movie. There's not some real creepy classic horror stuff where it's like, oh, it's really in the dark. These shots, the good shots to Frank when he's being creepy. They choose some really good points to switch it up. Just the whole setup of the movie, the soundtrack's pretty good. There's that one point of realization where I mentioned where like you start hearing almost like a wind in the soundtrack where she's like it's distorted in her head. She's like, and just hear a small breeze going on, and it's like, yeah, shit's like hitting the fan. But yeah, I'll get to my rating. It wasn't too over the top. It wasn't that expansive. It did exactly what it needed to do. I'd give it a good 70.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Would you recommend it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Anyone who's into this kind of movies, like, yeah, you need to see this kind of stuff. It's very interesting. It follows a lot of the. It can be seen by some people as somewhat predictable, but it's the journey.
Yeah.
My fucking god, the journey's solid. It's it's pretty damn well written for what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Time?
I mean, I'd just be repeating everything Fox said. I mean, this is a really good movie. I had a lot of fun watching it. It is all subtitled. It is all foreign. We forgot to mention that.
Norwegian.
Norwegian. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like
but it's like
not
whatever.
because the dialogue is not like a lot of dialogue. So
Yeah,
like I feel like it didn't.
Yeah. This was a solid movie to start off the series. I didn't have any expectations for it. I didn't know what to expect. It was just a good, respectable movie to watch. I saw some critiques online that said that it was slow and the pacing was bad. I didn't think so. I thought the pacing was pretty good. Maybe that the ending they could have added. Maybe they could add like 5-10 minutes to the ending to flesh it out a little bit more. But I mean, that's small little gripes. I'm gonna give it like a 75. I enjoyed it.
You recommend it to
I recommend it, yeah.
fans of the genre?
Even Flame liked it.
That's great.
which I didn't expect.
And I'll tell you what. And so let me talk about what I think. I love that this is a horror movie, and it is a horror movie. It's not just a thriller because it's a horror. The concept that you actually might be held captive and forced to perform as a dog forever is like terrifying, right?
Yeah.
Or should be, right? And I like that they didn't have to have a bunch of nudity or violence, or like there was nothing graphic. There was nothing that you couldn't. It was all psychological stuff that gets
Which
to
is the
you,
scariest.
right?
Yeah.
Which is the scariest thing you can do, right? Because like they're not trying to hit you over the head with like grapings and fucking blood, and it's all up in your up here, right? And like I love how they unfolded the reveals. I really appreciated the surprises. I love the scene when the Frank turns to Sigrid and tells the fucking thing. I think that was a really well played. And so I really like this movie. It came out of nowhere. I like this movie more than I thought I would, and I think it should have got a wider release. And like, it's like you could tell that these were amateur actors and stuff, but like none of them took me out of the fucking. I didn't say, "Oh God, this guy's so fucking bad," and like it's like it never took you out of the scenes. And like, it was, and we were watching in the context of a watch party, and so we were commenting and stuff. But like, there was a certain points of the movie we were just like glued into it, and like we weren't saying anything. And I feel like the audience really enjoyed it. Yeah. So I'm going to give this movie a 77.
Okay.
And I would recommend it to thriller and horror fans and foreign film fans. And like this movie's a perfect kind of thriller film that's edgy because it's not edgy in a way that's going to make you like get repulsed by sexual violence or violence and stuff. So it's just like, it's a good movie for this genre. And yeah, 77 recommend. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Yep.
So that's the first movie. We'll be back next Monday on Super Watch Party, 6 Pacific. We're not going to tell you what the movie is. And I don't know the movie. We'll find out when the movie starts. That's
RoboCop.
what the movie is. It's
I've got one in mind,
RoboCop.
and it's going to be interesting.
And we're going to, like, you are the captain of this ship, this archival curation. I'm going to trust you to point the StarCraft in the correct direction, because I know you can do it. And it's great to have you working with us on this, and like I love this collab, and like I'm thrilled that you're here. And I think this was a good first week. We spent like a week developing what we were gonna do, and like structuring it out. And like next week, JC promises he'll swim up to this show and be here. He'll be in the watch party. We'll see what happens on the day. But like, anywho, thank you so much for viewing. And someday you might see this on the YouTube, maybe years from now when it finally gets uploaded. So. God bless you. And it'll be on the Spotify too. And like, I think that sums it up, right?
Yeah,
Are we good? Everybody happy?
We're good.
Yeah, just want to thank you guys for letting me in
Thank
on
you,
this.
Fox.
And
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fox.
Hope
Thank
to
you.
continue bringing these weird ass movies.
Yeah, we're gonna do this for a long
lot of
time,
fun.
chat. We're gonna every Monday. I'm looking forward to it. I really look forward to, and I love the fact that I don't know what the movie is. It's a surprise for me. Like if I know about it too much, then
You
it's
can't
not
look
as
up
fun.
trailers. You can't look up. Nope,
I
it's
just
right
love
there.
walking into a theater and you don't know what the fuck it is, and like you just know the name and you haven't even seen the poster.
Yeah.
That's the best way to see anything.
Oh my god.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Yep.
All right.
All right, that's it. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
I'd rate out, but like we don't have anybody. Like I think the people watching are us.
Yep, that's it.
I don't give a fuck. It's still